Hey everyone, this is Dr. Teresita, Glasgow. I hope everyone is doing well. 2020, strange year. So I was going to do a recap of the presidential debate because I watched it 3 times. First time I watched it, I'm sure with everyone else, the night of the debate. And then I watched it again, same night, but with some others, commentary. And I got more out of it, and I saw some nuances. The third time I watched it, I really got a lot more insight into some of the things going on. And so I told some of my friends on Facebook that I would, I think I was going to do a write-up on it, and I still may, but as 2020 goes, things change so rapidly. There is such an occurrence of events, one right behind the other. So, the president got COVID, and then a number of other people tested positive for COVID. He was supposed to be at the White House, but then they wanted him to go to Walter Reed. So then he went to Walter Reed. So now he has left Walter Reed and he's back at the White House, and people are saying, he's cured. Don't think he's actually cured. I still think he's, I don't really know. I think he's still under treatment, but he was initially supposed to be under treatment at the White House. And so that changed rapidly. Well, it changed and he went to Walter Reed for a few days, and now he's back at the White House. And there are all there's a lot of commentary on the internet. Did he have it? Does he have it? Is he being narcissistic? A lot of different commentary. A lot of people are happy. There was huge crowds outside of Walter Reed. And they had their take on it. And then, of course, people on social media had their take on it. So I'm not so sure that I want to recap the debate at this point. I do have the transcript. There are some nuggets there that watching it initially, the first time, because it was so much, I guess, drama, the back and forth from everybody, really, even from Chris Wallace. But things were being said. And if you weren't really focused, you could have missed a lot of what was being said. And at the end of the day, no matter who our candidate is, we should know what the issues are. We should know, as a voting people, as a freedom-loving voting people, we should be aware and know what the issues are. So because things are moving so fast, I don't want to put something out there that's a little bit not relevant anymore, although I don't see how it wouldn't be up till the day that everyone votes. Of course, if you voted already, it doesn't matter. And I think a lot of people already know who their candidate is, but even at that, knowing the issues and some of the nuances of the issues seems important. My dog is in here with me, you might hear her. There were some things being discussed that may have somewhat seemed irrelevant, but they had to do with they were relevant in some ways. They were relevant to a person desiring to be the president of the United States. So I would really have to go over the transcript with a fine tooth comb. I have looked at it a little, but then, like I say, it's 2020 and everything is happening so fast and so crazily uh, that, now everyone's caught up with president, the whole, my hair, the whole situation with COVID, and certainly wish the best for him and for Melania, and for everyone else impacted and infected with the virus. Virus is, uh, it's strange. It, we've gotten a lot of data from experts, and I don't want to be on this subject too much, but apparently it affects different people differently. And I'm not so sure what's going on with it. It seemed like when it first came, it impacted so many people, deadly, very deadly, very, very deadly. Now I hear people who say, oh, I had it and I thought I had a cold, or I had it and I just spent the time in quarantine and it's gone. So it impacts different people differently. No two cases, I would guess, are alike. I'm not a medical person. I have no idea. I can only read. I can only say what I've seen. I had a niece that died, and she's fairly young. So I don't want to stay on that subject. Anyway, with people in the White House now having that, then the whole news cycle is kind of off. We're kind of off the debate. I mean, the debate did take place, and it does need to be. I saw a lot of people on YouTube that had already gone through it. And the more I look at it, like I said, there are some nuggets, there are some nuances, there are some things that probably a lot of people overlooked or thought were irrelevant. Like I was on Facebook, and someone had posted, why did this person ask that question, and why did that person ask this question? And it's a little bit like connect the dots, because if you don't know what's going on in the background of a lot of what was said, it wouldn't make sense, that it was even discussed or brought up. But if you know a little bit about what's going on in the background, then yeah, it's something that's going to keep coming up again and again and again. And we're going to hear more and more about some of the things that were discussed that most people probably are not aware of, or not aware of in depth. So anyway, I've never really been a person who was into politics. All of that changed in 2016. It seemed as though my eyes were opened to some things that I really had never paid attention to. Now, I've always voted. I've always did my due diligence on the candidates to know who they are, what they're about, what they believe, what agenda they have for the country, how it's going to impact not only me, but the country as a whole. And of course, I do have my preferences about things. Because I'm a Christian, I have set values, so I do have preferences about some things. But I also realize that as a country, everyone is not Christian, but I do vote my values. And I also try to vote for what I consider the betterment of the country. Of course, I would not be voting for the demise of the country. So I always try to vote for the betterment of the country. Okay, so from 2016 till now, it has been like a roller coaster ride. And some things happened prior to 2016, but I wasn't watching. I wasn't aware. I was doing like most Americans do. You know, you go to your job, you work your business, and you live your life like everyone else, you know? And if politics really isn't your business, you really kind of let the politicians and the people who want to run for public office kind of handle all of that. And you trust them to do what they take oaths and say that they're going to do. In a perfect world, that works. But we're not in a perfect world. We're not even in a world where the value system that was in place when our founding documents came together, you know, where men could shake hands as a contractual agreement, you know, and your word was your bond and different things like that. I tell you, I went out without even knowing all of the little shenanigans and stuff. I think it was the beginning of the year, and coming out of 2019 and going, and I bought, you know, the Constitution, United States of America. To be quite honest with you, at that particular point in time when I bought this, I have it, you know, I dog ear everything and post-it stuff where I take notes. When I bought this, I didn't realize how much I would need it to understand a lot of the things that have gone on and are going on, and the track records of you know, some of the presidents preceding this one, the last one, the one before him, the one before him, the one before him, you know, all presidents during my lifetime. I really did not know about a lot of the things from different vantage points. And I really wasn't interested. As I said, I was living my life, going about my daily routine and the different things that interest me, as most Americans do, and trusting the system and trusting those who were in charge of the system, and letting them do their thing, since they were, you know, interested in politics. And I kind of always thought that to be involved in politics, public service, and be involved in politics, that it took a certain type of, I don't know what to say. Not really, intelligence is not really the word that I'm looking for, but yeah, to be intelligent, schooling, a lot of, you know, civics and a lot of different type of things that we get basics in, but other people delve into it more deeply. History, you know, you need all of that or want all of that in your background. And then what I came to find out after becoming much more involved in looking at politics and knowing what's going on is that you don't need any of that. All you need is the votes. And if you have the money, you can get the votes. You don't have to believe in the country. You don't even have to like the country. You just need to, if you're articulate, that helps. If you're a good speaker, that helps. If you present yourself a certain way, that helps. But all of the things that I really believed that you needed to have to go into politics, no, not necessarily. What you do need nowadays, what you really need is money. You need a lot of money. But then here's the situation with that. You can get money from, well, I say you. I don't want to say you. People who want to go into politics can get money from people who don't love the country and don't want to do good for the country. They just want representation and numbers, meaning seats, in the various representations of, you know, the three division of government: judicial, executive, legislative. So, yeah, 2016, it seems like my eyes were opened. What opened my eyes was after the election, there were riots. And someone who I know, I follow him on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, was in DC and had a limousine, and their limousine was firebombed. I saw the limousine get firebombed watching, I think it was a YouTube video or something, and didn't realize that that was this guy's car, rental, you know, getting firebombed. And, but the night that the rioting and the firebombing, and I don't think there was any looting, but there was a lot of destruction happened, my eyes were open, because I believe in a peaceful transfer of power. That's what makes the United States the United States. That's what every other country around the world says. United States is a peaceful transfer of power, and it wasn't. And I wanted to know why. It wasn't enough that a certain person wasn't elected. That's happened before. You know, two people, it finally ends up with two people after all the other people and all the other little shenanigans and the debates and the different things that happen in the process. And some people's candidate loses and other people's candidate wins, and vice versa. Nobody goes berserk. Nobody goes crazy and starts firebombing cars. And, you know, you vote the person in, they're there for 4 years. And if you don't like them after 4 years, you vote them out. That's been my history. That's been my experience. And this was totally, totally different. It was totally different. And I'm not a person that cries, and I cry. My country lost something. Peaceful transfer of power. And I couldn't understand what happened. I couldn't understand why the people who were tearing things up and firebombing limousines didn't understand that this is the United States and we have a peaceful transfer of power. Call me naive. Call me a romantic. It opened my eyes that something had changed. And I wasn't really sure what it was, but I really wanted to know what it was. Now, the funny thing is, I had already purchased this. I kind of just wanted to have one. I don't know, I guess during prayer time or whatever the case may be, it just kept coming up. And so I went on and I got it on Amazon. And, you know, I had begun looking at and delving into different things from a racial perspective, historically, racial um, history, not kind of like what's going on now. I was just interested in seeing, the Constitution and checking some things out. So I may go over the debate notes. So just to mention some names, and then I'm going to get off of here. I was so disappointed at the debate when I first watched it, because I said, oh my God, I think I had missed just the first little part of it. And when I came on, when I actually started watching it, sat down and actually started watching it, I think Trump was talking. And I assumed that he was the first one who drew blood, because it was that kind of fight. It was like, wow. But, and I don't mean to laugh, but actually Biden was the first one who actually said something sarcastic or whatever. When I watched it the second time, I noticed that, because I saw it from the very, very beginning, and it actually started off very, very, very calm. Chris Wallace did the introduction. They came out. Joe Biden said hello. President Trump said hello. Chris Wallace asked President Trump about the Supreme Court nominee, and he started talking about her, and laid his case all out and everything. And he was quite calm for a while, and a nice slow pace. And well, it didn't stay there. So yeah, so maybe I will fine tune, go through the transcript. I hate to be slow and late about it. And we're in another kind of thing. It reminds me of a Charlie Chaplin movie. For those of you who may know who Charlie Chaplin was, and don't, you can always look it up on YouTube. But it was like the silent movies. Everything moved about real fast. Everything moved about real fast, and we're kind of like in that time now. So tomorrow morning, when I wake up, it's going to be Trump's first day back in the White House, and what happened, and did he cough on someone or something? So, or who else is sick, and are they? He seems to be doing relatively well. I'm not sure how everyone else is doing. How's Melania? Melania is one of my favorite people. So I would really like an update on how she's doing. So anyway, that's it. Just wanted to let you guys know that I'm thinking about doing the recap and just share some of what's been going on in my mind. I appreciate people who see my posts and make comments and keep it sensible. I may have one of the only, well, not necessarily, but I'll put it out there. I may have one of the only Facebook streams where we can agree to disagree on certain things and keep it civil. And I like that. So thank you. Appreciate you listening to this. All right. Bye-bye.